it comes. Uncle Lou needs to learn how to play the piano. Good morning, it's Uncle Lou here. Yeah, that's right, it's me, Uncle Lou, live for you on LouTube today. Yeah, thanks for watching, I really appreciate it. Also, and listen, that intro music's got me ready to go to wherever the hell this is. I'm ready to play basketball or punch somebody in the face or something. I'm looking for something to break, but I can't break that TV today. Yeah, that intro music's got me ready to go. Anyway, we're supposed to have a Carolina fan on today, and, he bailed on Uncle Lou, so you're stuck with just me, so we played, I played the music a little bit longer, today. Of course, being as though, I'm the talent on the show, as well as the producer, the executive producer, the director, the cameraman, the sound man, the special effects man. It was up to me to make that decision. I have 100% and complete autonomous control. Control over the Uncle Lou show. So I decided to do that. But anyway, the show, we're here now. We talk now. We listen more to that music next time. But yeah, that music's a winner. Course it is. That was Tool, for those of you that don't know, but well, that was a Tool song, but it was some orchestra playing Schism by Tool, which is amazing. Anyway, yes, Dogs fan, I am a one-man show. Looking for volunteers. Don't see any here. Didn't want to show up and help Uncle Lou out, but currently on my own. Anyway, SEC tournament starts today. Is anybody interested or excited about the SEC tournament? I'm sure a lot of people are, especially if you're a Tennessee fan, Auburn fan, Kentucky fan, and maybe even Florida fan excited. Listen, I'm not the biggest basketball fan in the world. I told you guys that a million times. I'm more of a football guy. But I sure do love tournament basketball. And normally, I'm pretty excited, even though Georgia's never great. We're never ranked. We're never winning the SEC, not lately, anything like that. But normally, I do get excited this time of year because I do like tournament basketball. I think it's exciting. I think the first 2 weekends of the NCAA tournament are probably 2 of the most exciting weekends in all of sports. Even though I'm a huge football fan, those first 2 weekends of the NCAA tournament are must-watch TV. And I usually get excited about the SEC tournament too, and it's just hard for me to get excited about it this year. I never want Georgia to lose a game, ever. Back when, I was on the Fire Mark Rick train, lead conductor of that train too. I still wanted Georgia to win games. I had it after the Alabama and Tennessee games that year when we blew it. I had it. I wanted him gone. I still wanted us to beat Florida, even though we lost, and that was sort of the nail in the coffin there, I guess. But after the Florida game, we still had, Kentucky, Auburn, and Georgia Tech, and I think a high school team. And we ended up winning all 4 of those games, and I wanted us to win all 4 of those games, even though I wanted Rick gone. And I feel like that now about Mark Fox. I still want Georgia to win today. It's just hard for me to get excited about the NCAA tournament because Georgia's not going to be in it, or the SEC tournament. And Georgia's never in the NCAA tournament, not lately anyway, under Mark Fox. But, we're never favored even recently to win the SEC tournament, but I always think, well, it's possible Georgia could go on a run. I don't think that's possible this year. I just don't. It just looks to me like the coach has given up. The team has given up on the coach. And I'm starting to think, what is McGarity waiting on? I thought maybe they'll fire him as soon as the regular season was over. And then I was like, no, there's only a few days before the SEC tournament starts. What's the point? But then I was like, well, Jonas Hayes could coach him in the SEC tournament. And so now we play Vandy today. And so I'm like, well, if we get blown out, maybe I'll wake up tomorrow morning and Fox will be gone. So all that stuff is going through my head, but still, I want Georgia to win. I'll watch the game tonight. It comes on at 7 o'clock, Georgia versus Vandy. Give me you guys' predictions in the comments section. Who do you think is going to win tonight, Georgia or Vanderbilt? Both teams have been terrible this year. They played a couple of weeks ago, and Vanderbilt won. And Vanderbilt's a worse team than Georgia, let's just be real. But like I said, the team has done give up on Coach Fox. Coach Fox has done give up on I think Coach Fox gave up on coaching 9 years ago when he got here. But, so I'll watch the game, but it's just hard for me to get excited about it. What's the best case scenario? Well, best case scenario, Georgia wins the SEC tournament, and so then they have to get into the NCAA tournament. You win the SEC tournament, you get your automatic bid into the NCAA tournament. But, what's the likelihood of that happening? 5%? Come on, it's just not gonna happen. So I completely understand, and there are some Georgia fans out there who want Georgia to get blown out today to almost force McGarity's hand to go ahead and just cut bait on this guy. I just can't go down that road. I got to pull for Georgia to win. And I'll go to sleep afterwards, and I'll wake up tomorrow, and hopefully I'll read some news that McGarity has finally decided to do his damn job and fire Mark Fox, because patience getting a little thin around the Uncle Lou studios here with McGarity. It's time to either poop or get off the pot, McGarity. People have been calling for McGarity's head too for years. People don't like this guy. He's pretty much ruined the majority of Georgia athletics. Almost every athletic program at UGA is worse now than it was before McGarity got there. So a lot of people want this clown fired too. I sort of gave him a break when he fired Rick. I said, well, at least he got rid of that guy, which wasn't an easy decision to make. Brought in a a good coach in Kirby Smart. And a part of me sort of thinks that McGarity's fate is probably tied to the fate of Kirby Smart. If Kirby Smart would have came in and crashed and burned, McGarity probably would have been out of a job. As it turns out, Kirby Smart, of course, made the college football playoffs in year 2, won a playoff game, lost to Natty by 3. So part of me might think that gives McGarity some more rope. But even if that's the case, even if McGarity's job is secure, there's still no excuse not to get rid of Mark Fox. This guy's been here 9 years, hasn't won a single tournament game. The team is not getting better, even though the players are. I just don't understand that it's time to get rid of this guy. But, yeah, I'll watch the game. But do y'all give Georgia any chance to win this game? I mean, like I said, Vanderbilt's not any good, but they did beat Georgia earlier in the year, not that long ago, a couple of weeks ago. But and then what's the 9 o'clock game? USC Junior and Ole Miss. I probably won't watch this game. Now, see, this is a game I normally would watch in the SEC tournament. Normally, I would watch the 7 o'clock game tonight, whether Georgia was in it or not, or if, even if they had a bye into a later round, I would still watch the 7 o'clock game. I'd turn around and watch the 9 o'clock game. I just have no interest in the tournament this year. Georgia, what's going on with Georgia basketball, whatever amount of enthusiasm or whatever you want to call it that I had for the SEC tournament or really college basketball in general has just gone down the drain with the fact that we can't seem to get rid of this clown, Mark Fox. The guy's a thief. Every time he cashes a check from the University of Georgia, I think he should be charged with stealing. He was hired to do a job. He's not doing it. In my opinion, he's stealing money from the University of Georgia every time he cashes a check. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe Georgia wins and moves on. Maybe they lose a close one. Maybe they get blown out. I don't know. In any case, if we lose, I really, really hope we find out something tomorrow about this joker, Mark Fox, and can get rid of that guy. Who you gonna get, Lou? You know what? Who you gonna get, Lou? Who you gonna get, Lou? Is the new who have you played, Lou? Who have Georgia played, Lou? All season long. You guys remember, if you were watching my videos during the football season, every single week, it didn't matter who we played or what. I don't even want to go down this rabbit hole. All week. Mississippi State finna whoop that ass, Lou. Mississippi State finna get you, Lou. Nick Fitzgerald, Lou. Dan Mullen is a better coach than Kirby Smart, Lou. Mississippi State beat LSU, Lou. We come out, we absolutely destroy, dominate, demolish, and humiliate and annihilate Mississippi State, Nick Fitzgerald, and Dan Mullen. And all in the comment section. Mississippi State ain't no good. On Monday, I saw it. Mississippi State ain't no good, Lou. They were overhyped, Lou. They ain't no good. Then on Tuesday, the rankings come out and Georgia move way up again. And here it is. Who have Georgia played, Lou? Who have Georgia played? Who have they played, Lou? Who had they played? Notre Dame was ranked 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th. Notre Dame is overrated, Lou. And then Notre Dame loses a game late in the season. I told you, Lou. Who have Georgia played, Lou? Never mind the fact these teams, we were beating these teams by 40 damn points. Okay? Yeah, Vanderbilt was no good in football. No, they weren't. Florida, no good. Tennessee, no good. It's not like we were beating these teams by 3 points. It's not like we were Clemson and losing to Syracuse. It's not like we were Oklahoma and losing to Ohio State. It's not like we were Ohio State and losing to Iowa. We were playing bad teams just like everybody else was playing bad teams. But we were beating them by 40 damn points. Who have Georgia played, Lou? Who will you get, Lou? Who will you get? If you fire Mark Fox, Lou, tell me who will you get? Who will you get, Lou? A damn bag of frozen peas could coach Georgia for 9 years and not win a single tournament game. I don't give two hoots or a hoe who we get, to be honest. I just want Mark Fox gone. Anyway, Georgia versus Vandy tonight in the first round of the SEC tournament. Where's this game at? St. Louis. I've noticed a lot of people crying about that. What's funny to me is, and this is the truth, and if you're one of these people, I'm sorry. About 99% of the people that are crying, right? Why is this in St. Louis, Lou? Why is the SEC tournament in St. Louis, Lou? Why, Lou? Why is the SEC tournament in St. Louis, Lou? 99% of these people wouldn't go to the game if it was played next door to their house. So, but hey, listen, it's 2018. It's the year of complaining. So, anything, any reason or whatever that people can get just to complain about something or whatever, that's what they're going to go ahead and do. Why is this in St. Louis, Lou? Why is the SEC tournament in St. Louis, Lou? It's mainly Tennessee fans because they had their first good. Tennessee has their first good team since 1979. No, I guess they had a good team back in 2008 or something. But anyway, yeah, it's mainly Tennessee fans crying like they would really go. Like if it was in Atlanta, they would go. Why is it in St. Louis, Lou? Why, Lou? Why is it in St. Louis? Yeah, they wouldn't go regardless, but, any reason to complain, I guess. There is an SEC team in Missouri, right? So, my guess as far as, why is it in St. Louis, Lou? Why, Lou? My guess is, because there's an SEC team there. If it was in Atlanta, why is it in Atlanta, Lou? Why is the SEC tournament in Atlanta, Lou? Well, because there's an SEC team in the state of Georgia, and Atlanta is in Georgia. Anyway, yeah, Mark Fox sucks. Give me Georgia. Give me Georgia by 4 tonight over Vandy. How about that? You can mark that down. Write that down. Text message it to yourself. That's what I do a lot of times. Who writes notes anymore? Writing notes is retarded. Of course, I have a whole pad here full of notes that I wrote to myself. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's something different. But it's so much easier, right? That's what I do. You don't believe me? I can really pull it up. But if I go to my text messages, I have a contact named Me. Guess who it is? It's me. I have to cover up my number here, or else the trolls will be winning for sure. But I have this whole list of text messages. I know you can't read those, but anyway, I have like pages and pages and pages of text messages that I text message to myself. So that way I don't need to write it down. But then I actually have 2 notebooks out here. After I just said how retarded it was to write stuff down, I have 2 notebooks out here in the Uncle Lou studio that I write stuff down on. Not sure what's going on with the show today. Does it seem like the show is going completely off the rails today? Or is it just me? I don't know really what's going on. This isn't normally the way this show goes. I'm not real sure what's happening today. But yeah. Maybe I should open up the phone lines. See what the trolls have to say today. USC Junior versus Ole Miss. What happened to USC Junior? Didn't they make the Final 8 last year? They had a really good team last year. I like their coach, too. What's their coach's name? Frank Martin. He's a good coach. But what happened to them this year? They're terrible, aren't they? They're really not any good at all. I'm not sure what happened to them. And if you don't believe me that they're not any good, turn on SEC Network tonight at 9 o'clock, and you'll see them playing. And if they were good, they wouldn't be playing today. They'd have a bye, like the rest of the good teams in the SEC do. But you know who's not good? Georgia and Mark Fox. Not only are they playing in the first round because they weren't good enough to get a bye, they're in the opening act. They're not even in the 9 o'clock game. Wouldn't you like to have been in that meeting at ESPN or the SEC Network or the SEC or whoever the hell it was? It seems like it might be too loud. Let me turn that down some. Wouldn't you have loved to be in that? Wouldn't you have loved to be in that meeting? Who we got in the first round of the SEC tournament, Jim? Oh, we got Georgia, and they're playing Vanderbilt. Georgia and Vanderbilt. Yeah, Georgia and Vanderbilt. Who else we got, Jim? USC Junior, and Ole Miss. USC Junior. Weren't they good last year? Yeah, they what did they make, the final 8 or something last year? It was pretty good. But now they suck this year again, though. Yeah, back to normal this year for the Gamecocks. You know, typical terrible Gamecock team. So you're saying in the first round we got Georgia versus Vandy, or South Carolina versus Ole Miss. Yeah. Do we have to put it on TV? Can we just stream it on the Watch ESPN app? Nobody wants to watch those 4 garbage teams. You're right. I mean, it is the SEC tournament, though, and people will still buy commercials if we put it on. No one will watch, but the advertisers will still buy commercials. Are you sure? No, but we'll just run Paul Feinbaum commercials every single time. All right. That's probably how it went. Thank you, by the way. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'd like to thank the Academy, my mom and my dad. I'd like to thank all the little people that helped me to be that great actor that just did that. Anyway, what's going on? There is nothing else going on. There's a picture of Butch Jones in Alabama gear floating around the internet. If you guys want to see it, I guess Butch Jones is at the Alabama Pro Day, all dressed up in his Alabama gear. So it's official. Alabama is the new life champions. So the trash can has made its way from Knoxville to Tuscaloosa. Yep, Butch Jones, Lyle there, sporting his Alabama gear at the Alabama Pro Day today. Bill Belichick there too. Of course, Nick Saban and Bill Belichick go way back. Most of you, I'm sure, are aware of that. Yeah. But anyway. What else is going on? What else is in the news today? Nothing. The Trump White House is still a complete disaster and a circus, but that's not the point of this show. But yeah, I think since the let me see, what time is it now? Show started at whatever time the show started, and it's 3:30 now. So yeah, 3 more people have quit the White House just since I started this show. Yeah, so give me Georgia by 4 over Vandy. And give me, you know what? I against my better judgment, I'm going to take USC Junior over Ole Miss. That's my official picks. That's just what it is, and that's what it's going to be, and that's what it's going to continue to be until it's no longer that. Yeah. So. Yeah. Let's see what we're going to do now. You want to call and troll me? 706-510-6817 is the number. Call Uncle Lou. Troll Uncle Lou. Or call and talk legitimate sports if you can. There's a few of you that can. Let's see if this happens to be one of them. I don't know. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou. You want to say something? You're on with Uncle Lou. I'm gonna take that as a no. Yeah, not sure if he changed his mind. Not sure if he changed his mind. Not sure if bad connection or potato. It's one of the four though, for sure. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou. Yep. Now they hung up right away, which is great. But call back if you change your mind. Yeah. And let me know. Yeah. What else? LeBron James to the Rockets. Come on. No live stream tonight, Alan. Tuesdays and Thursday nights. Mondays and Wednesdays during the day, 3 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday and Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. Philip Wells wants to give a shout out to all the big booty women in Augusta. Well, shout out to all the big booty women in Augusta, I guess. Yeah. What else? What are y'all doing in the comment section here? Dennis Wilson wants to talk Potato Bowl for UGA. What, like make-believe, fiction, what? Not sure what's going on with these people calling and hanging up, but trolls are winning, I guess. Who should the Falcons draft in the first round? I haven't looked at the draft yet. Outside of the of just looking at how some players did in the combine and things like that, I haven't started to look at which teams might take which players. Next week we're gonna have an NFL guy on for probably most of the show, at least half the show. Talk about the draft, and before I do that, I'll look into all that and try to have some answers for you on that. Good morning, you're on with Uncle Lou. Oh, for God's sakes. Wasn't I saying yesterday I have the best trolls in all of YouTube? Sony Michel, I think, will be the second running back taken. Dogs fan. I think Saquon Barkley will be the first running back taken, and I think he'll go really, really high, 3 or 4, top 3 or 4 probably. And but I think there's a very good chance Sony Michel's the second running back taken. Dude Baller says UJ will beat Vanderbilt. Yeah, I picked UJ to win by 4 in spite of Mark Fox. So we'll see. South Carolina will beat Ole Miss. Well, yep, that's the same. That's who I picked. I picked Georgia and South Carolina, so we picked the same ones. Jared says he'll call in a minute. All right, I'll be waiting with bated breath on your call, sir. Of course I will. Come there. Okay, the guy that can't spell his team's name is angry again. I guess no surprise. Ollenert says, Uncle Lou, what do you think about Nick Chubb's scouting combine? I think the dude's an animal. Tied for first on the bench. Had a good 40 time. Everybody knows about his vertical jump from the pictures they've seen from when he ran track in high school. Alan, I got you. Thank you, sir. Alan with the $2 donation. Thank you, sir. For those of you that weren't on the stream last night, every $1 that's donated gets your name entered into the drawing for a free T-shirt. Every $1 that you donate. So Alan just got 2 entries into the drawing for a free T-shirt. That's what the donations do. We donate $1, you get 1 entry into the drawing. You donate $2, you get 2. You donate $10, you get 10. You get what I'm saying. I don't have time for a math lesson here. For the Tennessee and South Carolina fans, you're just going to have to figure it out, or ask someone older or from another state to explain it to you. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou. Good morning. Hey, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Uncle Lou. I'm a big fan of your show, man.
I appreciate that.
I got a question. Do you think Auburn could win the whole NCAA, the whole national championship? Do you think we're good enough or no?
I don't think the SEC has a team this year good enough to win the whole thing. Now, keep in mind, I'm not a basketball expert, so I'm mainly just going off records and rankings when I say that. I just have a feeling. Now, last year the SEC dominated. We had what would we have like 3 of the last 8 teams or something like that left last year. I don't see that happening this year. I do think Auburn is probably the best team in the SEC, though, and I would expect them to win the SEC tournament, and I could see them making it, maybe to the final 8 or something like that. But of course, it's hard to say any of that right now until those brackets come out and you see who you might potentially have to play in what particular rounds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Uncle Lou.
But I do think
Do
Auburn
you
is the
think
best
Auburn?
team in the SEC.
Oh, never mind. You can go.
I do think Auburn is the best team in the SEC, and as much as I hate Auburn, they got a really good coach, and they've got some talent on that team. And it wouldn't surprise me if they were the last team standing as far as the SEC goes in the NCAA tournament.
Do you think Auburn could win the national championship for Blight? As you can tell, I'm a big Auburn fan. And
Yeah.
I respect Georgia. I think that we're a better team and should have won the SEC. I think we were just lucky to get there.
Yeah, I think Auburn's going to have a pretty good team next year. They've got a couple of question marks. You finally have a quarterback coming back. This is the first year in a while that you've had a returning quarterback that you're confident in with Stidbaloney. Before that, it was a bunch of nobodies really that got, hyped up. John Franklin III, all these types of people that never worked out. You finally got a quarterback that played well last year and is coming back again. So that's a positive. You got to replace some key parts on the offensive line, and you need to find at least 2 running backs that are capable of getting first downs, because this whole thing where Auburn just drives a running back into the ground to the point where he can't even walk at the end of November, and then you blame, not you, but some Auburn fans then blame their losses on one injury running back. I mean, 2 years ago, you guys didn't even get a first down against Georgia, and you said, well, our running back was hurt. That was Cam Petaway. Then this year, you run Kerryon Johnson into the ground, can't beat UCF or Georgia in the SEC championship game. So you got to have 2 healthy running backs. You lose, the running backs that you had. I mentioned the offensive line. Your defense is going to be elite, especially the front 4, front 7, elite. You're not going to lose. You're not going to lose many games 40. You're not going to give up 40 and 50 points a game. I don't see that happening. Your defense is going to keep you in a lot of games. Winning the national title, I don't know. I mean, it's going to come. I think it's going to come down basically sort of similar to what we saw last year. The last 3 weeks of Auburn's season will tell the tale. Georgia, Alabama, SEC championship game.
Oh, I got a question, Uncle Lou. Are you going to be at the Auburn-Georgia game at Sanford Stadium?
I haven't decided. I'm going to at least 2 games this year. I haven't decided which 2 those are yet. So
I think you should
maybe.
go ahead and buy your SEC championship tickets. You're probably going to be there. You're the only good team in the East anymore.
Yeah, Georgia should be a heavy favorite to win the East again, for sure.
I mean, who we got? The Voltards.
Right.
They're bad. Florida fans are pathetic. South Carolina's bad. Vanderbilt. Why do I even mention Vanderbilt? They're last.
Yeah. I think Vanderbilt's going to be.
Arkansas can't win.
I think Vanderbilt's probably going to be even a little worse than they have been the last couple of years. I think South Carolina's actually a good team. I by no means do I think they're elite. I don't think they're a top 10 team. That's not what I'm saying. But I think they're a top 20. I think South Carolina, is a legitimate top 20 team. I could see South Carolina going 9-3, 10-2, something like that, and finishing second in the East. Florida's a little bit of a question mark. Florida does have talent. Florida is not a 4-win team. Florida is not the team that you saw last year, as much as I hate them. That's not. Now, Tennessee, they've got serious issues. They're not getting turned around in a year or 2. Florida has the potential, if Dan Mullen can get the quarterback situation straightened out in a hurry. Florida has some potential. I still think Georgia's the better team, but I would put Georgia and then South Carolina and then Florida for my tops in the East. right now, and then a huge drop-off after that. And then, of course, in the West, I think you've got Auburn and Alabama sitting at the top. And then underneath that, I think you've got LSU. And then I think you have a little bit of a drop-off with your Texas A&Ms, your Mississippi States. I would keep an eye on Arkansas. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. I'm a believer in Chad Morris. We'll see. I don't think Arkansas is winning the West or anything like that, but they're not winning 4 or 5 games either. I could see Arkansas winning 7 or 8 games this year and maybe beating a team or two that you don't expect them to beat. But I think Auburn and Alabama, clearly the class of the West. Georgia, I think, clearly the class of the East. And Auburn and Alabama's season will be decided in the last couple of weeks like it was this past year.
I want to thank you, Uncle Lou, for having me on the show. I like your content. You keep pumping out, man.
I appreciate it. I really do. Thanks for the kind words, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Okay.
All right. Good morning. Yeah, always nice when you have somebody that calls up and has nice things to say about Uncle Lou and the Uncle Lou Show, and actually wants to talk sports, and actually is intelligent enough to do it. Always a nice surprise when that happens. So thank you again for the kind words, and thank you for the call, sir. And give us a call back next week, too. Hey, good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Good morning.
Hey.
What's up?
Oh, you tell me, sir.
That's a good. You know what? That makes sense, actually. All right. I just went ahead and found an article this morning on actually, I don't even know the website, but it's saying that Nick Chubb should be a college football Hall of Famer. What do you make of that?
I don't make anything of it one way or the other. I'm in a bunch of Georgia groups on Facebook and different places, and there's a lot of people that are really, really upset about that. It doesn't really matter to me. I don't really care one way or the other. Putting him into the Hall of Fame isn't going to make what he did at Georgia better or worse. Like, I like, if it's something that Nick Chubb wants, then I feel bad that he can't get it. I mean, it's not that he's being disrespected. It's a rule. If you're not first team All-American at least 1 year while you're in college, you can't be in the College Football Hall of Fame. I don't think they should go changing rules just because Nick Chubb wasn't a first team All-American. That's just my opinion. I think Nick Chubb is a better running back than a lot of running backs that are in the College Football Hall of Fame. I'll say that. But I'm not going to sit here and say the rules should be thrown out the window or the rules should be rewritten just so Nick Chubb can get into the College Football Hall of Fame. It's just not that important to me.
Yeah, no, I agree. If it hadn't been for Georgia's style of play, like having the multiple running backs playing, he definitely would have been an All-American at first team, absolutely. But yeah, I think you're right about that. This article I'm reading, I'm actually on it right now. I just found it. It's actually kind of absurd the amount of dick riding going on for Nick Chubb.
I agree, and one thing you have to understand this about Georgia fans and Nick Chubb. They love Nick Chubb not just because he's a good football player, but the whole he did things the right way type of thing. This is all coming on the back of Todd Gurley, who of course got suspended for selling his autograph, and so that pissed a lot of people off, Georgia fans included, and all that. And so Todd Gurley wasn't from Georgia, and for whatever reason, there's a large segment of the UGA fan base that thinks if you're not from Georgia, you're somehow less than people that are from Georgia. It's kind of hard to describe unless you're a Georgia fan and you sort of know what I'm talking about. But you saw a lot of this with Eason. People were ready to burn Eason at the stake because he wore a Green Bay Packers jersey to a Falcons game. Look, not every college football player is going to be a Falcons fan, right? I mean, this kid was from Washington State. What do you care what NFL team he likes? But he didn't know how to fish. He didn't have pictures of himself with no shirt on and a fishing pole out in the thing like Jake Fromm did. And Fromm was from Georgia, and he was from South Georgia, and he fished, and he hunted, and Eason didn't do any of that kind of stuff. And that's sort of I mean, that might be a bad analogy to what I'm saying with Nick Chubb, but that's sort of, Georgia fans love Nick Chubb for a whole variety of reasons that don't have anything to do with football. So they take it personally that Nick Chubb can't get into the College Football Hall of Fame. But rules are rules. And like you said, if it wasn't for the two-back system that we ran, I mean, Nick Chubb averaged only 14 carries a game this year. You can't be an All-American running the ball 14 times a game. It's just not going to happen. Now, he still had, 12, 13, 14, he had 1,300 yards, I think, this year. Unreal. I mean, he averaged 7, 8 yards a carry. Imagine if he had the number of carries that most number one running backs get, 20, 22 carries a game. He'd have had 1,800 yards, and he would have, like you mentioned, he would have been a first-team All-American, and he would have then been into the Hall of Fame. But I guarantee you ask Nick Chubb, would he rather be in the College Football Hall of Fame, or would he rather replay overtime of the Alabama-Georgia game? He'd rather replay the overtime of the Alabama-Georgia game. Those individual accomplishments, those things come and go. The team accomplishments is what's more important. And whether he gets into the Hall of Fame or not, he's going to go down in history as one of the best running backs in Georgia history and SEC history. He's number 2 all-time behind Herschel Walker. So, it is what it is.
You take away the torn ACL and the system we're running with the 2 running backs, and you definitely, I don't know how close he was, but I think he probably could have been number 1. I don't know
he was about 4. He finished about 400 yards behind Herschel Walker. Now you got to keep in mind Herschel Walker only played 3 years. We only played 10 games a season back then, and bowl games didn't count towards your stats. So even though Chubb had an injury, he played in way more games still than Herschel did. But Herschel was running the ball 30 times a game. So you can look at it either way. But, yeah, you mentioned it. He sat out half the season his sophomore year with a torn ACL. He played behind Todd Gurley his freshman year. He was at about 75% his junior year. And I would say probably 100% this year. And still, despite all that, finished number 2 all-time rushing in the SEC. So a hell of a career for Nick Chubb for sure.
Imagine if Sony Michel was like the number 1 running back, like the only person running the offense for 4 years. I think that we would have been even better, honestly, doing that. Well, not better, but I think that his stats would have been better than Nick Chubb's would have been if he was the only running back. But you know what I mean with that. So,
he's a different style, obviously.
I think you said this before.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I think you've said this before, but Sony Michel's probably going to have a better NFL career.
Yeah.
Than Nick Chubb. I don't know where either of them are slated to get drafted. I don't know what rounds. I don't know anything about that. But Sony can do. If he would have been playing longer and more in the national championship game, we would have another national championship right now. But Nick Chubb averaging 2 yards a carry in the national championship, or something like that.
Yeah, 1.8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for
like
thanks for reminding me. Yeah. I think Sony will be better in the NFL. I think he can do more. I think Nick Chubb is a better pure between the tackles running back than Sony Michel or Saquon Barkley. But Saquon Barkley and Sony Michel can just do things that Nick Chubb can't do. Catching the ball, route running. They can both play slot receiver. They can both return punts. I just think they provide more value to an NFL team than Nick Chubb does. But I could see Nick Chubb scoring a ton of touchdowns if he gets on the right team because he's that prototypical goal line. A lot of running backs get a lot of yards, and then the team gets down to the 4 or 5 yard line. They take that running back out and put a different running back in or whatever. Nick Chubb could be that running back. Nick Chubb could have 500 yards rushing. Nick Chubb could have 500 yards rushing in the NFL, but 11 touchdowns or something. Like I could see that happening with Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I totally agree.
All right.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I appreciate the call. I appreciate the call. Stay in touch with us and have a good morning if you can. It sounded like you probably can. Here, I see we're arguing in the comment section about the greatest running back. Emmitt Smith was good. Herschel was the greatest. There's trolling, yeah, but there is no legitimate conversation about the best running back in college football history that doesn't start with Herschel Walker being number 1. If you don't have Herschel Walker number 1 on your all-time greatest college running back list, then you're trolling or football ignorant. Those are the only 2 options. Anybody with any sense at all knows that Herschel's the greatest college running back of all time, and it's not even close. In fact, most people consider Herschel Walker to be the greatest college football player of all time, regardless of position. And if you don't believe me, just go to your computer right now or go to Google on your smartphone right now. Type in greatest college football players of all time. Pull up any list you can find. Herschel Walker will be number 1 on that list. Hey, good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Uncle Lou, it's the ultimate troll. What's up, bro?
What's up?
I got my phone taken away. I'm having to use somebody else's.
Uh-oh.
I have a quick question. No, not that. Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
No.
You did not vote for Hillary Clinton. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
No.
So did you vote?
Yes.
So you voted for Bernie, didn't you?
No. Bernie.
So you voted for Stein?
Bernie wasn't on the ballot, sir. He lost in the primary.
I'm sorry. Oh, all right.
He lost in the primary to Hillary Clinton, sir.
Hey, look, Uncle.
Yeah.
Why is my PPR?
Why?
Yeah, why?
I have no clue. Probably has to do with whatever boy is sitting in front of you.
All right, Lou. No, I think it's because I'm talking to you.
Oh. Could be.
Oh. Yeah, it could be. I mean, my PP is really hard.
Yeah. One of these days you might actually be able to do something with it.
Uncle Lou, leave me alone, bro.
What?
Stop trolling me!
What were you saying now?
Stop trolling me!
Oh yeah. Have a good morning, though.
Stop trolling me!
You know what I love? When somebody does something like that. I already know. They sat up last night thinking about that. And then it's all they've been able to think about all day today. I don't care what they were doing, if they were in school or what at work, whatever it is they were doing. That's all they've been able to think about all day today. I cannot wait to call Lou and make a joke about my pee-pee being hard. hey, I'm gonna call Lou. Hey, listen, let's call Lou. Okay? Yeah, hey, tell him your pee-pee's hard. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Stop
Oh, I'm great.
me! Stop!
Yep.
Do you think with the first pick, you choose Saquon Barkley or a QB?
I think they're going to take a quarterback and Saquon Barkley. I don't know which quarterback they're going to take, but I have a feeling they're going to take a quarterback and Saquon Barkley. I don't think that's what they should do, but I think that's what they will do because they're the Cleveland friggin' Browns.
Reality check right there.
Yeah, I think they should. I think they should take Saquon. I think they should take Saquon, and then trade the other pick for multiple picks. I wouldn't take a quarterback. I wouldn't take any quarterback in this year's class. Sam Darnold is an interception machine. Baker Mayfield is Johnny Manziel 2.0. Josh Rosen is a tree-hugging, snowflaking West Coast mama's boy crybaby. Lamar Jackson, listen, say what you want about Lamar Jackson. If he wants to play quarterback, that's his business. That's his right. He's 2 or 3 years away from me. He's not Deshaun Watson. He's not Cam Newton. Could he be that one day? Maybe, but he's not that right now. So, Cleveland needs a quarterback now. They don't need a quarterback 3 years from now. They should draft Saquon, trade the other pick. Hell, get Nick Foles from the Eagles and let him start. I mean, they got to do something. They can't keep drafting these quarterbacks and then 2 years from now they're selling used cars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm no Browns fan, but I was just wondering what your opinion on it was.
Well, what do you think they're going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you...
Live stream, and curious, what do you think was kind of decline about Vandy this upcoming season in football terms?
What do I think about them?
Yeah, like you said that you think that they're going to take a step back. What do you think they're going to take a step back on?
Running the ball.
Okay.
I mean, you just lost the best running back you've ever had, and one of the 20th best running backs ever in the SEC in terms of yards. Ralph Webb's in the top 20 all time in the SEC in yards, and Vanderbilt can get players like that from time to time. We've seen that. The problem is when you lose those players, Vanderbilt just doesn't recruit at a level where you're able to replace that. You just can't. I do like your quarterback. I've told you that before. I think you're okay there. I mean, I think it's going to be sort of a typical Vanderbilt year. You need to beat Kentucky. You need to beat Missouri. You need to beat Tennessee. If you beat those three teams, I think you'll probably make a bowl game.
I think this year, the Kentucky game, I think it's at Kentucky. I believe that will decide who goes to a bowl game between Kentucky and Vandy.
Yeah, I mean, that has been the case a lot of times in the past. And you got to remember, too, as much as I hate Tennessee, they're not going to be in the toilet forever. You guys have beat Tennessee 4 out of the last 6 years. At some point, that's going to turn around. So you gotta continue to take advantage of this time when Tennessee's down. You got to keep beating them while you can, and you've got to beat the other teams that you should be able to beat: Kentucky, Missouri. If you can go 1-1 against the West, I think that would be a minor miracle. And you got to win your non-conference games against the high school teams that you play.
The three teams you play is NTSU, Nevada, and I think Tennessee State. So that should be 3-0 right there.
Yeah, you got to beat those teams.
Fourth is Notre Dame.
Yeah, if you beat those three that you named, and then you beat Kentucky, Missouri, and one other SEC team, that's 6 wins, and that gets you bowl eligible. And for Vanderbilt, I know everybody wants to go 15-0, but I mean, for Vanderbilt, if you can go 7-5 and then win a bowl game and finish 8-5, that's a hell of a year for Vanderbilt on any year. I mean, I know James Franklin won 10 games, but that's just not going to be the norm at Vanderbilt.
I don't even think we're going to even win 8 games. I'm happy with 7. But I think in terms of the West, I think we can go 2-0 this year because Ole Miss doesn't have a lot of talent. And then Arkansas is kind of just in a hole.
Yeah, it's gonna. When do y'all play Arkansas? Like early in the year or late in the year, or do you know?
Midway, like I think.
Midway, okay. Well, we'll know by then. What we're looking at with Arkansas. They're a question mark with Chad Morris. I talked earlier in the show. I'm a fan of Chad Morris. I think he will turn Arkansas around. I don't think he'll turn them around this year, but I do think Arkansas can win some games that they're not supposed to win. Ole Miss, though, y'all should beat. Y'all should be able to beat Ole Miss. So I think if you can go 1-1 against the West, beat those 3 high school teams, that's 4 wins right there. And then you've got to beat your Kentuckys, your Mizzous, and I think you'll be in good shape.
So what do you think South Carolina beats Vandy for 10th year in a row? Or do you think that comes to a change from my senior year?
I don't see. I mean, none of what I'm saying right now is official predictions, but right now I can't see Vanderbilt beating. I'm high on South Carolina this year. I think they're the second best team in the East. I can't see y'all beating South Carolina right now. When I do my official predictions over the summer, I'll look at it again. It depends on a lot of. When I do those official predictions, I look at what point in the season a game is being played, who the teams are playing the week before and the week after. Do they have a bye week before or after? If you're playing South Carolina the week after they play Georgia, you got a better chance of beating them than if you play South Carolina the week after they play Kentucky. So I look at all those things before I make official prediction, but South Carolina's a better team than Vanderbilt in my opinion.
Honestly, this upcoming season, if we were going to upset one team, I would want to see South Carolina just to break that.
That would make Uncle Lou happy. That would make Uncle Lou happy as well, sir. I never mind seeing South Carolina lose a game. I love to hate South Carolina. They're my most hated team. I can't stand them. Those people over there are out of their minds. They're ridiculous. So, but anyway.
Tennessee fans. I've been in friends with them all day today.
Yeah, I actually like the Tennessee fans. I just, there's a lot of Tennessee fans that like to hover around the Uncle Lou channel. That's why I started making a lot of Tennessee videos. But when I first started this channel, I was making way more South Carolina videos than I was Tennessee videos. And I have a feeling it's almost getting tired. It's almost getting, making Tennessee videos now is almost like making fun of a special needs kid in school. It's just not the cool thing to do anymore. It's almost pointless to make Tennessee videos anymore. It's like, beating a dead horse, kicking somebody when they're down. It's like pushing an old lady out in front of a car or something. It's just, what's the point? I'll still make some Tennessee videos from time to time, but I think it's time to move on from Tennessee and maybe give South Carolina a little bit of attention. They desperately want it. So.
Thank you for letting me be on.
Yeah, I appreciate the call. Thank you, and have a good morning, and we'll talk to you again soon. All right, it's just after 4 o'clock. We're going to wrap it up. Thanks for the phone calls. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me rant and rave like a lunatic and a madman for the first part of the show. I really appreciate it. I enjoyed talking football with you guys today. Georgia Vanderbilt tonight at 7. Ole Miss, South Carolina at 9. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday, so we'll have the live show tomorrow night, 10 o'clock Eastern, and we'll stream some college football on the Xbox and talk some college football. Until then, I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all have a great day and an even better morning too. Beep-a-dee!
Stop trolling me!
Whoever this is, you're too late. It's a South Carolina area
Stop trolling
code.
me!
Sorry, I gotta end the show. Call on
Stop
Monday. 803
trolling me!
Probably a South Carolina fan. Beep-a-dee!